Hello and welcome to Construction Week's expert interview series, designed to hear from key names from across the region on current and engaging topics that are shaping our built environment. I'm joined today by Cundall's Managing Director and Partner for the MENA region, Richard Stratton, who's going to be giving us a business update and is going to be discussing their plans going forward for the consultancy firm. So, Richard, it's fantastic to have you on the show and looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
It's good to see you again, Ashley, and always a pleasure to talk. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome, Richard, and yes, pleasure to speak with you as always. I've spoken to a lot of people in the industry recently, and they have really taken note of Cundall's kind of success, particularly over the past 12 months and going into 2020. So it's kind of like the $1 million question here. Do you think you are now one of the best consultancies in the region?
Do you know what? It just reminded me. I watch a lot of documentaries and sports programs and stuff like that. And I heard a quote from Lewis Hamilton recently where he says, "Every Formula One driver believes they're the best." So we believe we're the best. We're not the biggest, and we don't want to be the biggest. We just want to provide an excellent service to our clients and honor our own values, vision, and our mission. So, we probably, the scale that we are as an organization, I think we can be more selective in the jobs that we chase. We can probably be more creative in the service that we offer and more flexible in the service that we offer to our clients, and tailor that specifically to our clients' needs. We don't have a formula or a formulaic way of operating the business. And so I think we'll maintain our position in the market, but we're not really looking to increase the business in size dramatically. For us, it's far more important about having a sustainable business and being able to do good work rather than it simply being about turnover and churn.
And putting 2020 aside, I believe that in 2019 you picked up a total of 10 awards. Is that correct?
We did. We were a bit greedy,
yes.
Ashley. Apologies for that.
Yeah, but I'd like to know from you, would you agree that 2019 was kind of the defining year for Cundall in terms of progression, particularly across the Middle East and North Africa?
Yeah, it was. It was probably the defining moment, without a doubt. It was our, our most successful year regionally. We've always had sort of pockets of success across the region, but in terms of the business as a whole, it was our most successful year. And I guess it's really just, what we've built. When we set the business up in 2007, it was just before there was the major market crash in 2008, 2009. So that was a huge setback for what was a very young company in the region that, to be honest, we were barely able to cope with the volume of workload that existed at that time. Therefore, we didn't really manage to penetrate the region very much. So it made it quite challenging when the region crashed because we weren't as well known across the region, or anything probably like as well known as some of our competitors. So it's been a fairly long but measured journey to build the business back up again, to do it carefully, sustainably, and with our staff in mind. We don't want another big bust coming. We really want to just have this stable business that our staff can rely on and they can trust us to run. So, getting the awards, and I guess the spread of the awards was what was really quite interesting. We had for best engineer, we had for best consultancy, best projects, including our own office. So for me, it kind of told a story that all of the things that our team have been doing and the business as a whole have been supporting for the prior decade, I suppose, were all the right things, and the industry recognized it. So we're very, very proud of that.
And I know that one of the other key areas that you're looking into at the moment is rail engineering, the rail engineering business side to Cundall.
Yeah.
The decision behind the appointment of your new global rail director, Stephen Dale. What are the plans kind of going forward with Stephen that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I can tell you lots about it. The rail, I guess, as a business, as we've evolved over the years, we're still a relatively young business compared to some. So as we've evolved, we've probably largely evolved out of the buildings sector rather than infrastructure. Now, we have done infrastructure in the past, but it's been quite discrete pockets of it across the business. And the region here in particular has got huge infrastructural growth and change because everything's new. And it was something that we were quite conscious of when we first set up the business here, that we really didn't have a credible offering in that area of the market. So we chipped away over years to try and get opportunities. And, we've secured two very sizable and credible opportunities in the market. We've delivered fully on one. We're in the process of delivering on the other. And that's, for me, what that's done is that's demonstrated our ability to deliver on rail projects across all of the disciplines that we need to deliver on. So it's not just a single discipline. We're offering in both of the projects I referred to full multidisciplinary and specialist input, and with the lead consultants. So with the confidence of that behind us, this decision isn't a very recent decision. Appointing Stephen is the most recent part of it, but because it takes quite some time to break into sectors like rail and major infrastructure, it's something we've been, as I say, chipping away at for some time. And then what we've decided is that the MENA region more broadly, there's lots of opportunities in rail in particular and other areas of transportation. So the next logical step for us was to have a global sector-focused group. And we have a number of global sector-focused groups, and they're all headed up by an individual who knows that sector inside out. And that's where we're delighted that Stephen chose to join us, because he's got a wealth of experience in rail. He's operated at consultancy level, he's operated at contractor level, client level. So he knows what the market wants, and he's now going to help us develop our sector offering and push it more globally so that we can actually have a greater diversity across the business.
Okay. And final question for me. What's the plans going forward for Cundall? We're obviously nearing the end of 2020, which is quite remarkable how fast this year has gone.
I know.
Yeah. What's the plans going forward into 2021?
So at the beginning of 2020, we launched our new strategy for the business. We typically do that every 5 years. We just look at what we need to refresh in our strategy. So we did that for the global business. And some of it was building on what we were doing before. Some of it was building or focusing in other areas. So, a couple of things that were probably a more strategic focus is growing and diversifying geographically. So we've talked about Saudi. I didn't mention Abu Dhabi, and opening the office in Abu Dhabi is about strengthening our position in the UAE, and maintaining a business here and maintaining our commitment to the UAE. Looking at sectorization, so focusing on our clients through sectorization, because our clients know their sectors really well. And we want to know their sectors as well as they do, or nearly as well as they do, so we can support them best. So we've just had our MENA leadership forum, and followed a week later by our global leadership forum. And not surprisingly, a lot of the focus of that was on work winning around sectorization. So we talked about rail earlier, but it's not just rail. You know, there's a number of other sectors that we're looking at. Education is a sector we're looking at. Lifestyle, but more in the entertainment side of it, is a sector that we're looking at quite closely. You know, and then there's a whole bunch of sectors, and we've got people aligned to each sector. So that, I think, is an important part. And then, you know, one of the things we set ourselves is to be leaders in sustainability, and we've managed to become the first consultant, carbon neutral consultant globally last week. Either that or it was a dead heat, because one of our competitors says the same thing.
Yes, I heard this.
But the great news is that there's two of us that are first, you know, so.
Yeah.
And if you look at the positive spin on it, what's really encouraging is to see that lots of organizations are pushing in that direction, you know, and if we're all pushing in that direction, to be honest, I don't care if 20 of us were first. You know, the world's going to be a much better place if we all focus on carbon neutral, you know, net zero or net positive even, you know, let's be ambitious. If we all look at our planet and we just remember what we're working with and what we're destroying, then it's our responsibility in this overall construction and design sector to take this seriously. So we're well on the way of doing that, and we want to build on that and just continuously improve on our sustainability offering. And we've got an incredibly strong global team that are focusing on that. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting times. There's still plenty of challenges there, but it's exciting times, and we're very excited about the opportunities that exist, and very encouraged about you know, where the market's going in the region and globally as a business. You know, we also are seeing a lot of positivity around the world, I think, as people are getting to grips with the pandemic and finding new ways of working around it.
Great insight there from Richard about Cundall's plans for the future. Richard, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to speak with us. And hopefully we'll catch up in person very soon.
It's a pleasure, Ashley, and I look forward to it. And thank you.
Right. So for those watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and even share a comment on what you think of today's discussion. We would love to hear from you. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and we will see you again soon.